Plot twist, I'm the woman.
Lucas? Do
Well, what's
that
the
do that with your face. Let's compare.
Hold on. We'll take the hat off. So,
Yep. Oh yeah, perfect. It was perfect there. Not that. The
wait
other
a
one.
second.
Yeah. Okay, face the other way though, because then it'll be the same angle. No, like towards your microphone. There we go. Yeah, that's sad.
Oh my God.
It's the boogeyman.
As a matter of fact, it was.
Hey everyone,
Hey, everybody.
and welcome to Why Are You Still Here, the show that we talk about whatever we want. And today, Lucas, why are we still here? Hmm?
Right in time before the Oscars, we have our top 10 movies of 2024.
Yes. Yes,
And
let me rant for just a mere second here,
go
okay?
for it. Let's hear it.
I get it if it's your job to like just watch movies and have a YouTube channel
Can you
that
re-say
you
that
have
with
somehow
quotes over the word job
you
for
want me to
some of
do
these
that?
people? Yeah, I do. Because
Okay.
some of these people do a pretty bad job.
So I understand if it's your real job, but and that's all you have to do is just
Uh-huh.
watch movies. So then you do see everything from 2024, let's say. But a lot of times people miss things
I miss a
because
lot
they do it
myself.
not only that, I'm saying these people like your Cody Leaches, they miss things because they will put out, your Cody Leaches, your
Your
Jeremy
Chris Stuckmans,
Johns's.
your 3C films.
Yeah, like if they I say if, I don't know why I say it if, but when they do their top 10 of the year, they'll do it at like the beginning of December. And it's like,
Yes. Yes.
but you're missing the entire month of December. So, like, why?
Oh, well, I know why. It's to beat everybody else to the punch to get the views first. Well, that's all
I
it is, because
get
it's the
that.
job.
Right. I don't know. It just seems strange to me that they're limiting like an entire month from themselves, you know?
Hmm.
And like certain movies like Nosferatu came out
At
really
the
late. It
very
was
end,
Christmas
Christmas
Day.
Day.
So, and that's why it's almost on nobody's list, if you
Well, they're
notice.
fucking stupid.
I mean, it's like I didn't really even start thinking about that
Uh,
until recently, and it's like it's on nobody's list, like as far
because
as
you
I've
watched a
seen.
couple
I
top
did. I
tens.
watched a
Yeah.
couple. Yeah. So interesting. Yeah, in their video for the movie, they talk about how much they love it. So,
Well, it might be in my top 10, maybe even my top five. We'll have to
oh
see.
no. Anyway, so it just doesn't make sense to me. So and there is obviously there's some things that get missed and whatnot along the way, but I think that I think I have pretty much all of it covered that I wanted to. And it's interesting because before we even get started, I
Hmm.
noticed that there's almost like a theme that runs through a whole bunch of these movies this year. Um, First and foremost, it's the year of horror movies. I
I
don't
have
think
a
I've ever had
lot of
so
horror
many horror
movies
movies on my
on my
list.
list, which is, I mean, it's right up
Um,
my alley, our alley anyway. So, and I was going to
sure.
preface my list with a bit of a cop out because it's like half horror or creepy
Mm,
related stuff. So,
yep.
who would have
So there's
thought?
that. Um, and the other theme is that it's like really uncomfortable movies, a lot of these that
Yes.
make you think afterwards.
Hmm.
That seems to be a kind of an interesting thing. A lot of the horror that occurs in these movies is it's due to the decisions of the main character. Like it's like they're responsible for a lot of the stuff that happens in these movies to
In
them.
basically every single one of these, that's the case. As I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
at like the five that I have on my list, more than five.
Yep. And in particular, my notes have put horrors of their own making.
Yeah,
And also, finally, a lot of these movies are movies that they were like one hell of a fun ride watching them. A ton of them I would never watch again.
I
I'll be
have to say
honest
that
with you.
about one of them in particular. And I
Okay.
think you know what movie that is. Or you don't.
I don't know.
You recommended it to me.
Hmm. Because of knowing certain information.
Uh, well, you told me to watch it. I watched it. It was a great movie. It was a
Yeah.
fucked up movie.
Yeah. I
Fucked
just
up
mean
movie.
you wouldn't watch it again because now having certain information, you watch it differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's not the same as Requiem for a Dream because I watched this movie again, but Requiem is like that thing you see it once and you're kind of good because of the subject matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I feel like that about a ton of these movies, to be honest with you. Um, there's a lot of heavy content and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I struggle with that this year, and it's also something that Cody Leach struggled with as well, where he's like, I feel weird about my list because these, are the top movies for me this year. Like I love them so much,
Hmm.
but he's like, would I watch them again? And he's like, no, And it's like, so does that mean that they really are my top movie? Like, and it's this whole
I
weird, like,
understand the dichotomy.
existential crisis
Yeah, it's a
that
funky
you end
year. It's
up.
a really funky year for a list.
It is. It is. It's very strange.
And there was
Anyway.
one other thing that you had mentioned at work, and if you didn't mention it now, I did want to point it out because after you said it, it kind of like clicked. But you also mentioned that another running theme for every movie this year, like across genres, is just the performances are phenomenal. This is a great year for acting. Like I pretty good.
Very good. Yes, I agree. Alrighty then. So we're gonna get started with three honorable mentions each,
Hmm.
and you can just say them all together.
Okay.
We don't have to jump back and forth for the honorable mentions. So if you would like to begin,
All right, I
please
will
do.
start with my first honorable mention, which is almost like a cop out because it's not really a movie per se, but I had to put it on the list. When am I going to talk about it again? It still doesn't have any inkling of a home video release or a streaming date or being on YouTube, but that is Ghost right here, right now. The story of the transcendence of Papa
Mm,
4 because there is a lot of good narrative stuff intertwined between like set changes and stuff throughout the movie. So I had to put it in there, and I have not going to talk about it again for a while. So Ghost right here, right now. You can get the album, the Popcorn Bucket. Where's the movie? I want to watch it on Blu-ray. That's all I want, please, because we're getting Papa 5 soon.
we have a like another theme running through a lot of these movies, I must mention,
Okay.
and that is there's no immediate access to a ton of them. Like they're not streaming, a bunch of them aren't on physical, like
Hmm.
it's insane. Don't know what's going on with that, but that's also a weird thing with these movies this year.
For sure. Oh, we're doing all of them at once. Okay, so
Hmm.
then my next one, this was much lower for you this year than it was for me. For me, it's like a point and a half lower than the first one, which was one
I
of
see
my
what you're
favorite
gonna say.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Smile too. I did
Mm,
enjoy it. Had to put it in there. Just as an honorable mention, it wasn't going to make it on the list. And then my last
sure.
one was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes
Mm,
because they're setting it
very
up for
good.
more. I like what they did in the movie. They had more callbacks to the original Planet of the Apes, more so than they had in the first three that had Andy Serkis as Caesar. So interested to see what they're going to do again. I've always liked Planet of the Apes. It's a great sci-fi story.
Perfect. All right, so my three honorable mentions are the movie that people seem to hate, I
Okay.
guess. I didn't know this, but the Rotten Tomatoes score, very low. And it is Boy Kills World, starring Bill Skarsgård.
Mm.
Um, and it was, I mean, I would never watch it again, but it was incredibly entertaining. And I honestly I really, really enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
think
I
that
remember you
I mean
talking about that when it had come out.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård delivers a really, really strong performance in it, and he's mute. He doesn't speak a word the entire movie.
Hmm. So
So,
was that
like,
three movies that
it's
he's in this year? There was
so this is
Nosferatu, The Crow, and then
yes. I mean, it's probably even more than that that we don't even know about.
uh-huh.
But he didn't film it around the same time, because this is one of those movies that is like came out in 2023.
Oh, okay.
Technically, so it has that 2023, date
Stamp
connected to
on
it,
it.
even though it
Hmm.
didn't really come out until like April of 2024. So it's weird. Like the film festival thing kind of screws things up, unfortunately. Um, and that is followed up by Civil War, which I also, I mean, again, I don't have to keep saying this. I enjoyed all of these very much. Civil War is a really heavy movie. And it's gets you thinking. You think a lot afterwards after seeing this movie. It's basically they mention in the movie because they don't get super specific about what happened to cause this civil war,
Hmm.
and it's sort of like muddled between all the sides too, because I think the point of that was that it's like nobody's right in this. Like nobody's right, nobody's technically wrong. They're all just being horrible, as they're waging war against each other in the United States. But it feels so real. And you could see how this could actually happen. And that's what is really just sort of terrifying about it, because it's like a horrific horror movie, you know, that's also centered around war.
Hmm.
And it's like our, like the United States is like Fallujah, like it's like awful, it's whatever. I don't know.
Sounds
I think
awesome.
everybody should see this movie, even though it's just an honorable mention for me. That just
Hmm.
means that the rest of the movies on this list I like more. Um, but yeah, it gets you thinking. Yeah. Um, and then the final one, you're not gonna like this. But again,
I think I already know what movie it is.
I don't think you do. I think it's gonna surprise you,
Because
actually.
I think it's Late Night with the Devil.
I That's what I thought that you would think that it
Yeah.
was. No, it's actually Nosferatu. And
Really?
yes.
This is going to
And
be a great top 10 list. I can't wait.
and yeah, I mean I really enjoyed it, but it
Uh-huh.
ultimately came down to the fact of I just the top 10 that I have I like more. I mean, I struggled with this list for a while. I went over
Uh-huh.
it, and usually I can just like bam, 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 just knock it out. While you think about things for like 2 weeks straight, I just do it in like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I'm good. You know, I'm good with it. Like I feel usually very content with my lists.
Yeah.
Um, and usually, I mean, I say do it in 20 minutes is because I do it over the course of the entire year, really, because I
Mhm.
will steadily add a movie to the letterbox list or take it away or whatever. But basically, my point is when we go and do one of these episodes, I'm like, I can whip it up in 20 minutes, like here you go. And then you seem to like tend to you put more thought into it, I think. But that's
Usually
me
it's
this year with this list.
usually it's like go to the Apple Wallet and then pull up my 127 expired like movie tickets for the last couple years and then start at the beginning of,
Yeah,
2024 and
right.
then just go down.
That's a good way to put it. So you have to look at all these movies that you have seen.
Hmm.
I already know what's on my top 10. So, you know what I
Okay, then
mean?
yeah, good
Like
way to
I,
put it.
like
Yeah,
I
I get what you're
already
saying.
know. So like I'm already very content with it. This one I teeter-tottered on.
Hmm.
and that's not usually like me. So,
It's not.
um,
He's not lying to you guys.
just goes to show how strong this last year has been for movies, honestly. So, speaking of that, we don't have a bottom 10 this year. These movies were just too good, I think, in general. That's not to say that there wasn't crap that released, but nothing so offensive that garners a
Even
bottom 10
Terrifier 3
list.
was not a bad movie.
It
And we
was
wanted to hate it
better than it
really.
had any right to be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, in any good conscience, put that on a bottom 10 list because I enjoyed it too much.
Mhm.
While Terrifier 2, I think, is a
Yeah, that movie's a
pile of
piece of shit.
crap. So I had no issue putting that on my bottom list. So
Yeah.
yeah. But 3 is different, unfortunately. It started to get to me a little bit,
Yeah, I kind of
into
kind of
my
wanted to
cold, dead
join
heart.
the hype train that everybody else is on.
Yeah.
But it was worth it this time because the movie wasn't bad at all. So
Yeah, exactly. And it definitely gets me more interested in in a fourth one as
that's going to
well,
be
I
split into two parts,
suppose.
apparently, according to Mr. Leone.
Yeah, whatever. I guess so. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But basically my bottom would be I don't know, I'll say it at the end,
Okay,
just so we don't tip our hand on anything.
sure, sure.
All right, so number 10.
So, and we say this every time we do a top anything. It's our opinion. These are not the de facto movies of the year. Everyone has opinions and taste. So, for my number 10, my wheelhouse, I love my scary movies. I watch them all the time. There was a running joke for like all of last year about the thrills and chills banner, around a movie. That would go see any single one of them. So this one's a
Hmm.
little bit different from my typical genre, and when I do see a movie out of my typical genre, I generally like it. And that's Gladiator 2 is my number 10 movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
It is, how do I put it? It feels, for not ever being in that time period, certainly feels like a period piece, as does the first movie. The costuming, the pageantry, the set design. There's a little bit of funky CGI in there here and there, but I mean, it was a damn good movie. Theatrical as all hell.
And there's like sharks in the Colosseum, even though they're
Hmm.
like hundreds of miles away from the nearest ocean.
Yeah, there were some questionable things here and there. And we said it before, like it didn't need a sequel, but definitely wasn't bad at all.
Mm, very
It
good.
was another
I
one
didn't
that
see it.
I
I
enjoyed
was
it.
discouraged from seeing it. Very good. Very good. Um, so my number 10 is it's one of the AMC Screen Unseen movies that
Mhm.
I attended. And it
You had seen
was
a couple this
a
year.
I did, yes. And this one was a huge surprise because I had never heard of it. I've never heard of the band that it's about, that they play themselves in it. It's a whole thing. I never knew that Irish was an actual language and not just an accent. And
What?
that is the movie Kneecap. So it is about the band Kneecap. They're like a rap trio, and they sing in the Irish language because there is so much history I learned from this movie, because there is the Republic of Ireland, and then there's Northern Ireland, and the reason that they're split is because of their differences in ideologies, and they like despise each other. And if you call Northern Ireland just Ireland, they will kill you over it. Like it gets really serious. Like there's a lot of tension there between the two of them. And it comes down to their accents, really, not their accents, their language rather. Because the Republic of Ireland, I believe, now I'm gonna get them pissed off at me. One of them has the actual language while the other one doesn't. The other one just sort of like shunned their separate language. But yeah, they have a whole language. it's weird. It's not
Never,
weird, but
yeah,
it's
would have never
funky in
guessed.
a cool way.
And for somebody that is
Um,
so attracted to the Irish accent on a woman, how do you not know this?
I know it was a surprise. It was a surprise. Um, but yeah, so it's they're called Kneecap, and it was like a big thing that they do all their songs in the Irish language, and it was like they were hated on and protested and all this kind of stuff because of that. Like they were rebels, and they play themselves in the movie,
So is it like a
and it's
pseudo, is it like a movie that's made to feel like a documentary, but it's still like a film?
no, it's just like a straight up movie. It feels very like Scott Pilgrim-y.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
they're like
oh,
writing up on the screen and like
really?
breaking
See,
the
I would have
fourth
thought
wall and
that it would go for
yeah.
like a grittier tone, not so something
Mm-mm.
that's,
No,
you
it's
know
like
what? That
really
sounds
like fun and
actually,
lighthearted.
I'm gonna take my pen and write down the name of this because I am piqued with
Yeah.
interest actually.
Yeah. Good luck finding it. Um, because I don't know where to find it. I saw it in a theater and that was
Yeah,
it. But yeah, it is pretty good. Yeah, Kneecap,
cool. Okay,
indeed.
so I went
Number
with
nine.
another for number nine here. This one's out of spite, right? Because this movie was very good. And you guys were all fucking stupid for saying that this was an abomination. It ruined the first movie. Joker, à folie à deux.
Mm, very good.
That is my number nine.
Yes,
I feel like it needs to be mentioned because if I don't mention it, the only other person that's going to mention it is Quentin Tarantino because he and I are the only two people that actually like
apparently.
that really like this movie. And he said
Yes.
it in a
Well, I
much
mean,
more
I
eloquent
liked
way.
it. I didn't like it as much as you,
Yeah,
but I
well,
liked
yeah, that's what I
it.
mean.
I mean, it didn't make my list. Spoiler alert, it didn't make
Hmm.
my honorable mentions,
Yeah, I didn't think
um,
so.
but I enjoyed it. It's, I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, my short that I made for it when I saw it was
Hmm.
the only positive short that like existed on YouTube for a little while.
Yeah, and that
And
does
it
not
got a
surprise
lot
me
of
one bit.
garnered a good amount of attention because of that. So it was pretty good. I was a rebel,
That's what we're about
like
here.
Kneecap.
That's what
I
we're
know
about here at Weish.
exactly. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's definitely not the worst movie of all time or whatever people said it was. It's stupid.
Yeah, it was
Whatever.
its own certain kind of musical, and I had a lot of fun with it. I like musical movies anyway.
Sure, sure. Very good. Kneecap's technically a musical.
There we go, right up my
So
alley.
yeah, so my number nine is actually this is the surprise with the Nosferatu being in my honorable mentions. This is
Yeah.
Late Night with the Devil.
Okay. I'm
So
very happy that it made your list though. Let's talk
yes,
about it
it
a
made
little
my
bit.
list. I had to think about it and reflect upon it.
Uh-huh.
And this is one of those movies I would never watch again.
Really?
Like
You have
no,
your Steelbook, don't you?
I don't have it anymore.
Oh,
I
okay.
was like, I don't like this movie anymore, and I sold it. No, I had to return it because I had a massive spine slash on it.
Oh,
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I gave it up, and it's a little interesting story because the Walmart I bought it from claimed they had one more in stock, right?
yeah,
So I returned it to said Walmart and purchased the one in stock, but I couldn't find it on their shelves, right? So I was asking them, where is it? And they're like, well, if we have it, it's going to be there. And I'm like, well, it's not there. Is it in the back possibly? And they're like, yeah, we don't have it then. And I'm like,
sure.
well, it's on the app that I can buy it.
So did
And
you
they're like,
buy
yeah,
it and
whatever.
then they
I
set the
did.
order up for you and then you ended up getting it?
No, I don't have it. Basically, I purchased it on the app and everything seemed good until the next day where I got an email that we don't have it in stock. Sorry,
Hmm.
and they canceled it.
Damn.
So there maybe somebody stole it. I that's the only way I could think that the inventory would get screwed up like that.
Screw your evil
Um,
twin.
I know. I know. I mean, the area this Walmart's in is not great.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it has a lot of theft problems, so I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I couldn't picture myself watching it again. Um, yeah, I don't know, but I certainly enjoyed my time watching it. It's a very unique movie.
Oh
The way
yeah.
it's shot is incredibly unique. David Dastmalchian is fantastic. He should have been nominated for an Academy Award.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
To go along with with what you just said about how the movie was shot. So I've seen the movie 3 times. I saw it in theaters, saw it on
Jesus.
yeah, saw it in streaming, and then I bought it. And seeing it in theaters was super cool because you do feel like you are a part of the audience. It's set up
Mm,
like that. And also when you
sure.
watch it at home, you're a part of the home viewing audience. So there's two different aspects of it. So that was something I also really appreciated. I never really heard anybody talk about that part of it, but god damn, what a good movie. Also in my top list. We'll get
Yeah,
there.
it was good. Um, yeah, yeah. I think that's it. There is some issue. I should have mentioned this with Civil War as well. These two
Okay.
movies are connected in an interesting way because they both got in trouble for using AI. You know about this?
We're talking about Late Night with the Devil, how they like made it look older with AI. Was that it?
No. So, it had these cutaways, where it'd be like, they'd go to a commercial and they would go, and it would be like, oh, happy Halloween. Or there was like one where it
Yeah.
was like Halloween and it showed like a skeleton walking through like a cemetery.
Mm.
All those images were AI generated
Ah, I did not know
and
that.
not well. That's how they were caught, actually, because they didn't admit to it at first, and people were watching it and at home, and they were like, "That looks like an AI generated image." And when you really look at it, you're like, "Oh, I see exactly the thing." So the skeleton has just like one really funky leg, like, and this isn't stuff you
Ah,
notice until you
I
like
didn't
really pay attention to it.
I didn't
Like
notice anything. And I
one of
saw it
his
on the
legs
big
is
screen.
normal, but the other one is like a piece of machinery or something. It's like
Yeah.
it's weird and messed up in those ways. And like there's like a TV that's like we'll be right back or whatever, and the TV has like 40 little knobs on it. Like it's just wrong. Like there's
Mm,
knobs and buttons,
yeah.
and so it's the stuff that AI does wrong. You know what I mean? So that yeah, so they used AI for those. As far as I know, that was the only thing. And people blew it out of proportion as well. Like it wasn't that big of a deal. Um, but for Civil War, it was like five of their posters were used with AI, and a lot of people were
Like
willing
the
to
film
excuse.
posters?
Yes, and a lot of people were willing to excuse Late Night with the Devil because it was an independent movie. Civil War was a
It's a fucking
full-blown
Disney movie.
studio production, and so it had no reason to do that. And the movie itself is like huge, like it's on a huge scale. So it's like,
Hmm.
what are you doing? Like just for these posters, you were gonna use AI and thought you could get away with it? Here's the positive little ribbon I'm putting on this package in conclusion, and that is people are unhappy about AI, and I think that's great. I think they might
Yeah.
be blowing it out of proportion a little bit. Don't boycott the entire movie because of this, but I do like that people are so like,
Yes, there was the
you
big thing
know,
about all the Coke commercials for the holidays, and they were all AI generated, and they looked fucking terrible. Yeah. Yeah, I'll
okay,
put in little clips of
yeah,
everything that we just talked about to give you guys some like reference points, but
yeah. I don't know. People are very resistant to AI though, and
good,
I
as they
like
should be.
that.
As they should be,
They
yeah.
should be. They should be.
Hmm.
Because there really is no excuse to use it. Do I think that ruins the entire movie that used it? No,
No.
but you shouldn't use it.
Yeah, agreed.
Late Night with the Devil, they could have found an artist that probably would have done the work for free just to have their art in the movie. Um, so whatever. Lesson learned. I think lesson learned
Yeah.
for a lot of this stuff. So that's good. Hopefully they just, people learn from the future, moving forward and whatnot. And
Indeed.
there's that Mel Gibson movie though with a You Need a Pilot with Mark Wahlberg, bald.
Oh, wait,
Yeah, you guys need a pilot? Like
is
that
that
he talks
that
like
flight
that.
risk movie?
Yes.
Yes.
People are saying that that script was written with AI. Yeah.
I mean, the movie didn't look great to
Yeah.
begin with, but okay.
Mel needs money, unfortunately. I don't know what he did. I mean, I think his
I don't know
house
what he
was one
did
of the
this time.
houses that unfortunately was caught in the,
The California wildfire.
yeah, unfortunately. But this movie was made before that. So
Hmm.
I don't know if he's paying off gambling debts or what, because he recently just did a convention too, his first convention
Yeah,
ever.
you showed me the price, the exorbitant prices he was charging.
Yes, it's insane. So I don't know what's going on there because usually he's a very thoughtful filmmaker.
Hmm.
You know, Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, Passion of the Christ, Resurrection.
I'm
You
excited for
know,
that whenever that comes
yeah,
to
it's
fruition.
all
Because I
the
mean,
classics.
unironically, I mean, I said it before, Passion of the Christ is a fantastic movie. That is a damn good movie.
Yeah, that's an interesting movie too, because that's a movie that has a lead actor in it that seems to try with all his might to undo how good that movie is.
Oh, we talked
He
about JC,
he's insane. Yeah.
fucking
What's
Jim
his name?
Caviezel. Jim
Oh
Caviezel.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, he's insane. However you feel politically about things, he seems to be rather
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah. You told me some stories.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
So
But I don't know this diatribe, but this is what AI does. And this is
it
what you
brings out
get.
the
This is how
worst in
you know
humanity.
our videos are not made with AI because they'd be much more succinct. They'd get to the point much quicker than this.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
very true. Anyway, so I'll go on to my number eight now. That's where we're at.
yes.
Okay, so my number eight is going to be the last musical movie. I think it's the only other musical movie that came out this year. Was Wicked. I really, really like that movie. I went in with like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like low expectations. I'm a massive
Hmm.
fanboy of the original Wizard of Oz. I've read the book multiple times. Yes,
I have a question.
I have an answer
Why did we not
potentially
get shorts for these movies?
because I saw them like 2 months after the fact, and I think anybody was gonna give a shit.
Hmm. I don't think Wicked came out that long ago. But
I think I
continue.
want to say November, and I saw it like early January. Um, Anyway, so Wicked, that was it's not up your alley. I'm not going to recommend you watch it. I don't think you're going to enjoy because it's my one complaint about this movie though. It's 3 hours, which means it is
And it's only
longer.
half the story.
It's longer than the play with an intermission. Though you don't really feel the runtime, the acting is all phenomenal, and there's going to be a sequel too. I don't know what they're going to
Hmm.
do, but at the end of it, it like it leaves a to be continued, and there is no like official sequel, so there is no Love Never Dies, a la Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Um, but no, Wicked, that was a very good surprise. Very good surprise. There was someone at work who was like, "Oh, it's the best musical movie ever made." And I'm like, "You know how they always get lost in translation? They're fucking awful." Very good movie.
I don't think anything could ever beat Rocket Man as the greatest musical ever. So, you know. My number eight is a movie that I went and saw in the theater because people said it was good, I guess, and I just went in blind and I was like, okay. And it
Uh-huh.
was The Substance.
Okay.
And it was I mean I'm very, very, very happy that I saw it in theaters, not only with an audience, a packed audience, mind you. I mean, I was sitting shoulder to shoulder with other people.
That's
So
cool.
that was fun with this type of movie. And just the fact the audio is so like it's so like crispy, it's so like visceral. Just the audio itself is like weird, like in the best way possible. And the movie
Yes.
itself is just really weird. I mean, it literally it starts off like a normal story, and then it turns into, it gets a little sci-fi, and then it turns into like some weird like sci-fi horror like fever dream craziness. And yeah. I don't know. It's probably more the Fly than the Wolfman is. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, totally. And then by the time
Um,
you get to the very end of the movie, that's some body
yeah,
horror.
it's I mean, there's body horror the entire time, but yes, I know what you're saying. It gets really horrific.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like funny though, like it's because it's so like
The way
over
it
the top and
moves,
ridiculous.
there's a tit popping out somewhere. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's
It's
like
good shit.
yeah. For those that don't know, basically, it is like an aging movie star finds out that through taking a substance can sort of relive her youth yet again. That's the way I would explain it.
Through the duality of man or woman.
And that, goes back to the whole like horror of their own making that I
Hmm.
mentioned before as well. Um, and almost all of these have been that actually. Actually, Late Night with the Devil, horror of his own making. I mean, I'm not going to get like spoilerific on this.
Hmm.
Civil War, horror of everyone's own making. Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, go see that movie if you haven't. It's definitely, I mean, all these are worth
Yeah,
watching,
yeah.
but that one in particular is just so weird.
Yeah, it's up
It's
my alley.
very
It's a good
good.
one. We'll talk about it again,
And the acting is incredible. I mean, Demi Moore won a Golden Globe and she is nominated for an Academy Award. So,
which is awesome.
yep.
All
So,
right.
number seven.
Beetlejuice is my number seven.
Interesting.
Yeah, it made
That's
the
one of the ones I
list.
had to remove from my list.
Really, because I watched it like around December, like the Steelbook came out. I watched it with my brother and I like really fell in love with it like all over again. I liked it more
Mm,
than the first time I watched it. And I
yeah.
do have to say, I still love me some Frank Hardballer, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
It's
That's good.
good shit. Loved it. Love it,
Very
love it.
good. Awesome. My number seven is Juror number two. This movie, there's not really a lot that you can say about it. Um,
Without giving it away.
yeah, I thought about this movie for like 2 weeks after I saw it. Like it changed my life a little
Uh-huh.
bit. It is, it really gets you thinking. I mean, it's the last thing I thought I was gonna get from this movie when I watched it. Uh, it's if it wasn't for some of the other movies I've seen after it, I mean, this thing was like sitting at number two in my list for a long
Oh, no
time.
shit. Okay.
It is one of my favorite movies ever. Um, and unfortunately, though, it completely loses its impact on ever really watching it again. So it's one of those few movies from my list that's the case for.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, Nicholas Hoult is incredible in it. And yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't say. I mean, from this one to number one, I implore all you people to go see these movies like ASAP. I implore it.
And how can you not with a word such as implore?
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so that was number seven. Now number six.
Okay, so my number five and my six, I did have a hard time with these two, so we'll get there. Um, but I did go number six this year is going to be Heretic.
I just watched that today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I love
Good
it.
fucking
Spoiler
movie.
alert. So good. So good.
Yeah, yep,
Why
yep.
why was Hugh Grant not nominated for an Academy Award.
I was shocked at how, dude, coming off of Wonka and then coming to see this.
I know. It's a
Okay.
night and day difference because
Uh-huh.
he is such a curmudgeon. Like he hated playing an Oompa Loompa so much.
Hmm.
Like just hated it. He was being such a dick in all the interviews and all this kind of stuff. And for this, you could tell he was really passionate about it, and he brought his A game. I mean, he like
Yeah,
if this guy was
I've
running a
never
cult, I'd probably join the cult.
I've never seen Hugh Grant in a horror movie. I want to see him more. That was
I
fucking awesome.
agreed. Agreed. Yep. Agreed. And it's yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so I guess I preface that number five and go back and forth. I'll say, after Brandon does his. But like I wasn't 100% like married to my honorable mentions and then 10 through 6, but like 6 through 1, I'm like, yes, I'm just gonna repeat what you said. I implore, go, please. My bottom six are fucking phenomenal films.
Agreed. Implore. Anyway, my number six is a movie that we did a video on.
Hmm.
It's actually it's a video that came out. So go watch it. But it was Alien Romulus. That was a surprise. Massive, massive surprise for me. I mean, obviously I'm an Alien fan, but did I think that an Alien movie was going to end up ever in a top 10 list of mine ever again? No. No, I didn't. And so this was a huge, huge surprise. And Kaylee Spaney is also in Civil War,
Oh, is
and
she?
she shines. It's like the year of Kaylee Spaney. Um, I mean, basically everything that I had to say was said in that video, but
So, I have to say this before the list is over. I am going to have to make a letterbox account, Brandon, and I have to take a page out of your book because while looking at all my movie tickets, for some reason, why did I not see Alien Romulus on there? And then while looking at all these other movies, completely forgot to even put it in my list, which would be in my top 10 list.
what?
Exactly my
You
point.
gave that movie like a 9.5 out of 10.
I know. And then I just
You
got
need to
so caught
rearrange
up
your
with
list right now. Rearrange it.
honestly, so we'll bump off Gladiator 2. We'll move everything up, and then it's number six. I mean, it'll go
Okay.
right above Heretic, because I do like Heretic more.
Okay.
Just for the
Yep.
subject matter of it. But yeah, I will never do it this way again because and ordinarily like I would just let it slide and just keep it in my head and then fester. I had to say something
I
immediately,
could tell
Johnny.
by your face. I knew it. Because it was like your screen had frozen.
But it wasn't.
I know. I
It
saw
was
you
this.
blink. But for a second, I thought it was. It's like, play the tape back. There's a moment where I look over at you, like, what? Like a couple times. Anyway,
I'll
um,
zoom in on it when I edit it.
yeah. See, I for the longest time I've tried to get Lucas to make a Letterboxd account, and for somebody that loves movies so much, you wouldn't think it'd be like pulling teeth, but I guess it is. Because I mean, what I use it for is this, you know? And then I'll do
After
like the occasional
I'm
ones just for fun, like ranking the Halloween movies or like ranking Nightmare on Elm Street just for fun, just for myself, you know?
like ordinarily I can make like a funny joke. I really can't even make a joke about this. Like literally. This
Yeah,
is me as serious as you'll ever see me on the show.
it's a good movie. It's a good movie. In Lucas's defense, there was a lot of stuff that came out this year. A lot. And yeah, Beetlejuice. Did I say it? Beetlejuice was on my list for a long
Yeah,
time,
you
but
said that.
I had to remove it. And it was high on my list too. It's just I ended up seeing other things that were just as good. And shit, one of the movies I loved the most this year was Dune Part 2. And that one got ended up being pushed down so far that it wasn't even in my honorable mentions anymore. But I think that's a fantastic movie. So, slight defense to you.
Only slight though. I can't even give you a full
Yes.
defense on that one.
The only thing that hurts it a little bit was how high your score was for that movie, but
I don't want to talk about
whatever.
it. God, remember that scene with the acid and the zero gravity?
Yes.
God
Yes.
damn. God damn.
Yeah. Throw myself out the window. Yeah, it's yeah, it's incredible. It's one of those movies that's just really fun to watch amongst like other people in a theater, but also,
Hmm.
it's great at home too. But you know, um, yeah. So now number five.
All right, Brandon. I've been waiting to drop this bomb, but you sent me the poster. I heard many good things about it. My number five is Strange Darling.
Yes.
That movie is fucking disgusting. It was horrific. I felt so hard for that main character. All that shit she went through, all that cat and mouse shit. That movie is awesome.
Yes, I agree. We can't say any spoilers about it,
Did I say anything too
but
spoilery?
I don't know. If you did, just
Bleep it
make
out.
yourself just bleep it out or make yourself go silent for a little bit. Um, yeah. I don't even want to say anything about this movie other than I loved it. I'm still thinking about it. And because again, there's like five themes running through these movies, and one of them was to make you keep thinking about a lot of these movies. And I mean, I was like, yeah, I can't, I can't, it's just great. Go see it. Don't watch a trailer. Don't look at a
I
synopsis.
went in completely blind
Um,
off Brandon's recommendation, and that movie.
yes.
I mean, it's immediate. I watched it yesterday, and it's already in the top five. Like it made it there. It's good. It is good shit.
I'm delighted to hear that. Yes.
Well, Brandon, like I said this before, I've said it to my friends. I'll say it to your face. I'll say it to the audience's face. Brandon, I've known him for 5 years now, has never given me a bad movie recommendation. I think the worst movie I ever made him watch was Jersey Boys, but we won't talk about that. That's years ago. That was the first forcing fandoms that never came to
I
fruition.
was I was fine watching that. If that wasn't a forcing fandoms, that was just you had me watch it. Forcing fandoms was Toy Story and James Bond. And I don't think we've ever done another one.
Oh,
We've
I know
talked
it
about
wasn't.
it.
I know it wasn't a legitimate one, but I
Oh,
always
I
call
get
it the
it.
first like
I see.
unintentional because of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
passion
yeah,
for
yeah,
Jersey Boys to
yeah.
play. But
Yes.
and how fucking shit ass
Yes.
the director Clint Eastwood was for that movie, but whatever. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to watch it. I mean, because I never would have otherwise. So yeah, it was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I try to hone my recommendations. I try to, I try to make them real prevalent when I do recommend, because I don't recommend a lot of stuff. In reality, there's not a lot of stuff I recommend.
Mhm.
So I have to wait for my one time a year.
No, so I do know that when Brandon does tell me to watch the movie. I've learned my lesson throughout the years with that one.
Very good.
I love that smug little look you just had. I'm gonna close up on that. That was good shit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Um, I mean, this is just all a love fest at the moment because my
Yeah.
number five is Heretic.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, incredible. Like
Great movie. I mean, that's
what I
religious
got
horror done
from
right. It was so smartly written and directed. I fucking loved it.
yes, agreed. Everybody's great in it too. Really, there's four people in it. Did you notice that was Topher Grace, by the
No?
way? Yeah, like the missionary, like the guy that was above them, that was like,
Yeah.
you know, I can't say anything else other than that, but like the Latter-day Saint, like guy
Hmm.
that was like, going from door to door. It was
Yeah.
Topher
Yeah, I
Grace,
had no idea.
I think. I didn't
Oh, you think?
check.
Oh.
So I could be an idiot right now. But I'm like he looks kind of familiar to me. I'm like, who? I'm like, "Oh my God. Topher Grace." Ooh, my spider sense is tingling if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he was in Flight Plan too. Let's see. Let's find out right now, live, if I'm right about this.
I hope.
Because if it's not, it was like it's his twin brother. Um, let's see here. But yeah, great movie. I had oh good. Okay.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's him.
Good shit.
Elder Kennedy. Yeah. Um,
And Sophie
yeah,
Thatcher, she's been making a little name in horror movies recently.
yes. Yes. I don't know of anything else she was in, but yes.
Companion.
Oh, anyway. Um, we don't need to hear about Lucas as number one of 2025. Um, yeah, so I don't know. Heretic is just great though. I had
Yeah, it
no
was
idea
really
where it was
good.
going. I was like, what? What?
You're just talking about Topher Grace. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, well, that too. But I'm just like, I have no like I Hugh Grant is just way too charming and charismatic.
Yeah,
Like I said, if he was like running a cult, I'd be like, I'll
I'd
join.
join.
Yeah.
I'd join.
Because it's just like he's terrible, but he's like so damn charming as he's
So
being
likable at the same
terrible.
time. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely. Once again, implore you people to watch that movie if you haven't already. All right. So number four,
Number four for me is The Substance.
very good.
Yeah, that movie had some dumb rewatchability for me. I haven't rewatched it again, but I know I'm going to. I know I'm gonna buy it
Okay.
and I'm gonna watch it
Yeah.
like with like my friends and like introduce them to it because I really
Mm,
like that movie.
I get that. I understand showing somebody the movie and looking at what their reaction's going to be to it. Like I could see that. Could you see yourself watching it alone though again?
Mm, in a couple years, maybe, not anytime soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because almost all of these movies that I have mentioned, Alien Romulus aside, I mean, that's a classic. That's an instant classic.
Yeah.
And I'm not even just saying that because of what happened with that movie.
Yeah.
Uh, like I would rewatch the hell out of that. But almost everything else I've mentioned, I wouldn't. It's just it's just really great experience to have that first time with these movies,
Hmm.
like and I'm
And our
starting to feel like
anti-trailerness has really proven good this year, by the way.
yeah,
And going into
yeah.
2025 is very good to be doing because Companion gave away the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
stupid. If they would have kept that a secret,
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like there's good trailers out there and there's bad trailers. I believe Cody Leach said that like Heretic, I didn't watch Heretic's trailer.
hmm,
But I guess its trailer was fine. Like there was not
well,
any
that's a
spoilers or
shock.
anything in it. Yeah. Not that it can really any spoilers can really come from that movie. Not really. It's just yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. It sort of it's just so well written and so well acted.
Hmm.
Um, Hugh Grant gets like pages and pages and pages of dialogue, like in just one sitting, and
Yeah,
yeah, he knocks it out of the park. Um, anyway, so what was your number four?
The Substance.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Great movie. Great movie. My number four is a movie actually that its trailer kind of gave some stuff away, but I didn't mind that, honestly. And that is the movie Speak No Evil, starring James
Oh
McAvoy.
shit! That was another one that is. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. It's not like
Yeah, that's fine.
2024 is over. I'm not gonna see it because there were two other movies plus that you recommended that I still have to watch. But
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Because I heard a lot of good. Just I mean, from you alone too. But I've heard many, many, many good things about it.
hmm. Yeah, it's so unbelievably like uncomfortable, and that plays into the whole plot of the movie actually. And it's just like it you get like residual what's the word I'm looking for? Like embarrassment. Like you get like embarrassment watching it. You
Hmm.
know, I'm trying to think of like secondhand embarrassment.
That's
You know, like
exactly
you
what you were
feel like
saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're there making the decisions in this movie and you feel embarrassed about it and it's so fucking uncomfortable and it's like makes your skin crawl and it's just so good. You know, it was such a fun watch. And it's like there's these movies, right? So many of these movies feel like companion pieces in a weird way. And something else that's a part of this, like it's like this whole like, you know, evil person thing. Like a lot of movies this year focus on an
Yeah,
evil person rather.
yeah.
And some of them do it really well, and other ones do it really badly. And what I got from like Heretic and Speak No Evil is what I wanted to get from Long Legs.
That was gonna be the next thing out of my mouth was some fucking sideswipe toward long legs, but
Yeah, Long Legs is trash. Um, yeah. Number three,
number three. So it's a
getting
different,
down to the wire.
I know, just a different genre movie for me. Deadpool Wolverine. It's my number three of the year.
Very good.
It
Very
had to
good.
make the list. That was probably like my funnest theatrical go of the year, just because it was a packed theater. We went together. There
Yep.
was that one
Yep.
guy on the left that was laughing so hard at every single joke, and he started to fizzle out toward the end. But it was something I remember very fondly, and I
Yeah.
had a lot of fun reordering my ticket 7 times to sit right next to you the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. I agree. And now that we're getting down to the wire, I see exactly what your number one's going to be, by the
Of
way.
course.
Anyway, so yes. So number three for Lucas, Deadpool and Wolverine. For me, it's a movie we already talked about actually, and that's Strange Darling.
Very
Um,
good.
it is it's incredible. I love it very much.
When did you watch it?
Like a week ago?
Okay, so not too much more before I saw it. Because Brandon said something about it at work and then had sent me like the poster afterwards in a text. And I took the mental note, had to see it. Like I said, he said too many good things about it. I trust his opinion, so. And
Yeah,
he
I
did not steer a little girl wrong.
I cannot convey how good it is more than I already have, really. I just say go check it out. And the cinematographer is Giovanni Ribisi for some reason. You know who Giovanni Ribisi is?
No.
You do, trust me.
I did
Um,
notice the cinematography and a lot of certain colors sticking out through watching that
yes, that was a
movie.
big thing.
Yeah.
Black and red.
Hmm.
Um, he's an actor, and oddly enough, Red Letter Media talked about how weird it was, and Jay was like, "Well, I looked back at his IMDb, and the only thing he ever did cinematography for was a couple music videos. This is the only movie he's ever done cinematography for."
What a good fucking job.
I know. Everything is just getting really blown out here. You have to know who this is.
Why does he look like John Waters' weird son?
I don't know. I don't think that he does, but uh he's like one of the most notable like character actors in Hollywood.
The hell have I seen him in?
Everything? I don't know. He's a really he's probably been in, if I look at his IMDb, he's probably been in like 70 movies. He is a very accomplished actor. 102.
Hmm. We have
Yeah.
zero.
Hmm?
And we have zero
What do you mean we have zero?
IMDb credits.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep. Oh well, he's going to be in the next three Avatar movies apparently, so you'll see him there. He was also in Avatar: The Way of Water. I mean, did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you saw him there. The Offer, did you watch The Offer?
No.
The Godfather thing? Whatever. He's in a
Oh,
ton of stuff. It doesn't matter. He's in a ton of things. You have seen him many, many, many times. I would bet my life on it. But he's only ever been an actor, so it's very strange. And I don't know, slightly
oof.
disturbing. But yes, it's a fantastic movie. I just messed up my list. Put you back down there. Okay, there we go. Great movie. What can I say? The Hunt for a Serial Killer. That's all I'll say. All right, so number two. We're
Number
getting
two.
really down to the wire now.
Yeah. All right. Late Night with the Devil. It didn't make number one, but damn, did it have to be close. I've been raving about this movie since I saw it on May 1st. I did my short. I've not stopped talking about it ever since. Again, I've seen it
Yes.
3 times. Um, it's like an exorcism movie. There's some poltergeist. I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
And Nosferatu, Count Orlok at your disposal.
So Brandon, even it's crazy. So you were bitten by a bat. I was bitten by a wolf. 1 second.
Very good.
And I'm transitioning right now.
Yes. But what does that have to do with this?
Are you excited? So these are my hot pink vampire teeth.
Yeah, why are they not purple? It doesn't fit the Lucas brand.
Oh, there was no purple. There was a
Oh.
green, an orange, and a hot pink. And
Hmm.
I figured this was the gayest looking one.
Yeah.
It was at Screamers, we didn't have any candy on Halloween like day to give out to the kids. So there was like glow sticks and vampire teeth. So I like loaded up on glow like hot pink glow sticks and the gay ass vampire teeth. And I was just walking around like this for a day.
Very good. Very
And
good.
I've been waiting for an opportune
Patiently.
moment. And it just hasn't arisen.
Well,
And
you
I'm
can
very
look it out
happy
for
to
your number
share.
one as well.
I know.
Uh, yes. Anyway. Uh,
They're on the floor. Ugh.
that's good. Anyway,
Number two, Brandon.
number two. It's a movie I've talked about many times. It's a movie that we actually made a video about that unfortunately was lost. Um, very sadly. A
I think I know what
mixture
you're gonna
of
say.
mixture of being lost on a hard drive that was damaged, mixed with the only other copy of it Lucas had in his possession and lost it somehow there as well. Um, which is fine. But it was like a little brief, like 10 minutes that we talked about this movie. You hadn't seen it. I had recently just seen it. It is um one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, let's be honest. And the lead actor, Coleman Domingo, is nominated for Academy Award, and I hope he wins. And that is the movie Sing Sing. And
So I was wondering if it
was
was going to be your number one because for a while it was, if I'm
it
not
was,
mistaken.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was for a while. Yeah, it was another one of the AMC Screen Unseen movies, and good thing it was because um I don't think it's necessarily streaming anywhere. As far as I know, there's no physical version of it. That's the case with a lot of these movies for some reason. And yeah, I could be wrong, but Strange Darlings like that too. Like you have to like rent it, you
Yeah,
know?
like it's on
Like
YouTube front and
like
center.
rent it. And with like only 1 in 27 red boxes working,
Yeah,
can't
right.
get it from there. But yeah, Sing Sing, it's an incredible movie. Basically, it's a true story about a theater program being brought into Sing Sing Penitentiary so the prisoners can get out their, their creativity and aggressions and all that kind of stuff through theater. And most of the people in the movie play themselves, like the real life guys
Hmm.
from Sing Sing that was involved in this. Most of them play themselves, and it's just glorious. And I was in such a state of mind, like my like heart was like 3 sizes too big, like the Grinch, by the time the movie came to a close, that when the credits started playing, and the credits are all the like the video footage of the real moments of the real plays that the
Oh, it's
guys put on.
kind of like the ending of Deadpool and Wolverine. Cute little end credit sequence.
Yeah. Kind of like that, except instead of it being like a montage music video kind of thing, the time of your life, it's just like split up pieces of just real
Just footage from
pieces
the
of
event.
the video footage. And it got me choked up. I started to cry. Like it was just something about it.
Thank God. You know,
And
it's your turn to cry at a movie, douche.
yeah, true. And it's happy crying too, which is like weird to me because I've never in my life had that happen to me. So it's kind of crazy. And then I was talking about it earlier, and I got choked up talking
Hmm.
about it. It's like, what the hell is wrong with me? It's like this specific thing, like it's just like it's so beautiful, and like so many of the cool
Up,
little
buddy.
moments in the movie where you think like, oh, they probably over exaggerated that, or that's probably not exactly how it went down, and that kind of stuff. And you see those moments that were so crazy and ridiculous happen in real life in the videotapes, and so you were like, oh, like that really did happen. And so
Well,
it
that's
just, I don't
awesome.
know, it's super cool. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
again, that's another movie that's not going to evade me because he's talked this movie up too much for me not to see it. And I love a feel good movie like that. So
yeah.
whenever it can
And
be
I mean,
found,
don't get me wrong, it definitely has its moments of sadness and, darkness and depression as well. I mean, it
sure.
is in prison and it is a true story after all. But yeah, I mean, it's Coleman Domingo, phenomenal. Like, I feel bad for him that this movie didn't get a wider release
Oh
because he
man.
deserves the praise,
Yeah,
but
one of
I'm
those situations.
delighted that he is nominated for an Academy Award for it. So I hope he wins. I mean, he probably won't because life isn't that fair,
Yeah.
but I hope he does. All right, so that brings us down to number one.
Number one, the movie that nobody put on their top 10 list because they didn't watch it in time. But of course, I had to put Nosferatu as my number one movie of 2024. This movie two things I want to mention. Bill Skarsgård completely lost within the makeup, lost within the voice. He's really just a character actor with this one. Phenomenal. But the biggest takeaway for me,
Unidentifiable.
for sure, that's the best word for it. But the biggest takeaway for me is that in my lifetime, this is the first time Dracula has ever been scary on screen.
Hmm.
Last couple of years, I've been really into my black and white Universal horror. So with that comes OG Dracula and the Nosferatu story behind that, and all the other Nosferatu since, and what have you. The scariest he's ever come is Gary Oldman as Dracula and Bram Stoker's, right? When he does meet why am I drawing a blank on his damn name? Keanu Reeves. He is creepy.
Benjamin Harker.
Jonathan Harker.
Jonathan Harker,
I was
that's
thinking of
right.
like actual of Keanu Reeves' name instead of Jonathan Harker. But yeah, that was the close to being scariest in my lifetime. That entry castle sequence when they meet is fucking horrifying. It is scary. But the movie
Are we
is just
talking about
overall,
Nosferatu?
it was.
That is that what you're referencing again? Nosferatu.
Stop talking to me. The stupid bitch started talking. You know who I'm talking about?
Siri.
Yes, I can't say her name because then she's just gonna start talking. But anyway,
Um,
yes.
okay, because there was like I was wondering if you were still talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula or not. But yes, I agree with you. That was very notable to me as well, that he was absolutely horrifying. Like, yeah, very much so felt like a threat.
Yes, this version of and it is Dracula, right? Everybody knows like the Nosferatu story. So you have your Jonathan Harker, you still have your Renfield, you still have your Van Helsing, but they're all, different names. This is like the greatest version of Dracula. It's fucking amazing. Great movie. Absolutely loved it. And I'm
I liked it a lot.
kind of glad that it's my number one, but it got an honorable mention for you. I think that's interesting. But I saw it and just completely fell in love with it. And of course
Very
I was
good.
going to. It's almost like a cop out. Of course Lucas is gonna like Nosferatu. You know what I mean? But
That's not necessarily true. And I take your Nosferatu and I raise you the Wolfman.
I hate that movie. That movie's a piece of
Yeah,
shit.
that movie should have been like a hole in one for you, and the movie's trash.
And I admitted it was trash the night I saw it.
And it's so disappointing too because like Lee Winnell knocked it out of the park with The
With the
Invisible
Invisible
Man.
Man.
And it's like mm-mm-mm-mm.
And then I said this also with whatever, and to be honest, Brandon said this, and I don't disagree with him. I would be shocked if the extended Monsterverse, whatever the hell it's called now, is not canceled because that movie was fucking garbage. What are you gonna do when you get to the 17th iteration of The Mummy? Like, what are we gonna be doing here?
I don't know what they're gonna do. I think they're still
So,
using the name Dark Universe
okay, so
as
I guess
well.
like my ultimate takeaway from that is whatever Count Steve is in their version of Dracula. This
Hmm.
version's already shit all over it without even trying. Like
Yeah, they
Robert
probably just
Eggers,
won't do it.
because it's gonna have to be modern to be in line with Invisible Man and Wolfman. So what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's interesting because they did do like a modern version of Dracula in the movie, I think Dracula 2000 that came out a number of years ago, as well
Uh-huh.
as like Interview with the Vampire has
Yeah.
modern parts to it as well. And it doesn't work as well when you have a modern Dracula, unfortunately. It just, I don't know. Or they could surprise us.
I
I
don't
don't
expect to
know.
be surprised, but being that this
No.
movie was so like period specific, a lot of love and care went into it. I feel that this is just it's a massive love letter to the 1931 Drac, to Bram Stoker's to all the Nosferatu. I mean, there's elements of everything strung throughout the movie. So if you're a fan, you're gonna pick up on all that stuff too. So I just had way too much fun with it. Way too much fun. Damn good. Number one of the year. Bam.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Magic underwear. Anyway,
Tell us, Brandon.
um,
What is your number one of the year?
I don't know. I don't know what it could possibly be. What could my number one actually be? I'm really, I'm not sure.
Hey, you
I'm
know what?
not.
Let me take these fucking teeth out. I like the theme that we have from last year. Your number one movie was The Flash.
Was it? I don't think it
I'm
was.
I am pretty sure it was The Flash.
I don't think so. I think it was Top Gun Maverick.
Or was
Wasn't that 2023? Or is
yeah.
that 2022? I can look. I have all this in my letterboxed. Let's see here. Do 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 do. It was up there though. It was like my number two or number three.
Okay. I thought it was either
Um,
number one or well, we're gonna find out momentarily.
yes, we will. Oh, you're right.
That's what I thought. And I'm not
It
usually
was
right
The
about such
Flash.
things.
Interesting. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I forgot about that was my number one. Yeah, so Top Gun Maverick was 2022, which it sounds insane for
Really?
me to say. I know.
What the
Isn't that
fuck?
disgusting?
Yeah.
I know.
If I was a
Yeah.
betting man, I would have put my life on it being last year that it came out. That's crazy.
There's also Glass Onion, 2023,
Oh, that was last year.
and Black Phone, and
Hmm.
no, yeah, I mean, last 2 years ago now,
Yeah, because we're in
or
2025.
20, Glass Onion was 2022 rather. So like tw Glass Onion was my number one of 2022. Um, and then my number one of 2023 was The Flash, and
And now the number one of 2024,
is
Deadpool and
drum roll,
Wolverine.
Terrifier 3. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. And it's so like this is another one of those movies that is just so dark and no, obviously not. No, this is one of the movies I can watch
That doesn't
many.
have that tonal
I
shift.
will,
Yeah.
for the rest of my life, and it was so much fun seeing it. And what else? I mean, it was just fantastic. And it also Nosferatu didn't end up on any of these lists. Deadpool and Wolverine really didn't either. And I wonder if that's just because people are like, oh, it's too much of the obvious answer. Like it's too easy, it's too, like blockbustery and
Do we
like
have
that
to
kind of
be
thing.
do we have to be middle school, high school Lucas and go against the grain just to go against it?
I think that's what a lot of people do, unfortunately. Like they admit it was great. Like when it came out, they admit it was great, but then it's like for it to actually end up in somebody's top 10 list and even more so as their number one. I don't know. People think that it's like cliche or something,
Well,
but
I mean, just
I've
like we preface with all these lists, I said at the very beginning, like this is Brandon's top 10 and Lucas's top 10. It's not, cinematic masterpiece of 2024
correct,
top 10.
correct. And it doesn't mean it's correct or incorrect.
Incorrect.
Doesn't mean it's the right answer because there is no right answer.
Hmm.
Unless you have long legs on your list, then we need to talk. But that aside, obviously I'm kidding. If you that's your number one movie, then good on you,
I'm
Nicolas
glad
Cage.
glad someone glad someone got something out of it, but
Yeah, I am as well. So yeah, it was just wonderful. Deadpool and Wolverine, gave me everything I wanted and more as a huge comic book, massive comic book nerd, superhero fan. I just loved it so much. So yeah, it's my number one. Also, can we all just like take a moment, like step back here for a second? And out of the two of us, usually Lucas has like the worst memory of anybody I've ever met in my life, including people with Alzheimer's.
Yes.
And I usually am the one that has like a, pretty decent memory, especially in comparison. And for me to not have remembered that The Flash was my number one, and for you to have remembered it, that means something there.
I love The Flash, and I love that
It's
you've
significant.
introduced me into certain aspects of the superhero fandom that I have
Yeah.
latched onto and appreciated. So
I
for
just,
me, that's something big to remember because that was huge. I watched that movie 5 fucking times.
yes. Yes. I
The
remember
Flash we're
when I
talking about.
mentioned it because I was like, oh, I had watched it once. And you had watched it four times, I think, by that point. So it's funny. But
The only problem is, I can't remember what I've forgotten.
so tell us down below, everybody, what is your top 10 list? Do you agree with what we said? Our lists may be the most different than they ever have been. I mean, there is obviously some
Hmm.
overlap, but
I
we
mean,
didn't have
I
a
think
single one where
though,
the same number was the
I know,
same.
and usually we always have at least one. So
Yeah.
I am very happy with the compare and contrast of the list this year, actually. I feel like we had a very, very solid conversation this year.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. And if you're out there and there's anything that Lucas has mentioned or I have mentioned, do yourself a favor and go and watch it because I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it.
Not one of these you'll regret.
Nope.
In fact, watch all 13 and enjoy. All 14 in my case, but sure.
Correct. Better ingredients, better pizza. Weish.
Yes.
Weish. You're going to like the way you look.
I guarantee it.
Those are our new slogans. I've never heard them anywhere else.
Put that shit on a t-shirt.
Yeah, definitely we can legally because I haven't heard that anywhere else before. So
Ah,
no. What are like better ingredients, better pizza, Weishi Johns?
way she does.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Throw it down below what you think of our list. Tell us your top 10.
As
Let's start a
always, everybody.
conversation.
Yeah, thanks for watching the new late night and unhinged Waish. That's what we've been for the last year is late night and unhinged.
Yeah, yeah. Every time we record an episode, it is late, and it gets very much so unhinged. So, thanks everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next time.